Well, hello. In this video, we're going to talk all about Aries. Now, this will apply to your sun sign. We're going to be talking about your sun sign in in all of these zodiac signs. But remember, your sun sign isn't all about you. Your sun sign is just one small little piece of the puzzle that makes up you. Okay? So when someone says, "Oh, you're an Aries," well, it's not the puzzle. It doesn't make up who you are. It is part of you, okay? But it's not everything, all right? And I kind of take a little bit of a I kind of take some aspects of Vedic astrology and Western astrology and kind of blend them together because they're both very um they're both very good systems. So what I do is when I look at a person's chart, I focus more on their moon sign. I focus more on, hey, what is their first house? Okay? That really tells more of a story than just your sun sign. Your sun sign is part of it, but it's not all of it. Okay? So, that's what you kind of need to know. The astrology that's in the paper or that you see on like on Yahoo or things like these, it's not telling the story. It's really more complicated than that. It's much more than that. So and it can, and if you have a lot of planets in Aries, well then you're definitely gonna feel like this, even though that your sun sign, let's say it's in Virgo or Scorpio or whatever. All right. So here is all of this is all about Aries. Okay. So it's the first sign of the zodiac and also the date. If you were born between March 21st and April 19th, you are officially in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and it uh they both rule the first house, which is all about self and new beginnings. Okay. So Aries is, again, it's the first sign of the zodiac, and its symbol is the ram, and you can see that by the symbol in the upper right hand corner. Uh, you can see that it looks like a ram. Now the symbol to the left of that is the symbol for the sun. So sun, Aries, sun and Aries. Okay. So, and the ram represents power, abundance, and fight for survival. So basically, what that essentially means is that Aries is got a lot of power to it. Aries is definitely going to do whatever it needs to do in order to survive. Okay? Aries has the mentality that, no matter what, I am going to survive. And even if it means that I have to do something violent to survive, I am going to do it. All right. So Aries, again, it signifies new beginnings because that's what is all about the first house, the self, new beginnings. It also signifies quick changes, and it signifies turning points. Okay. There's a raw human energy to Aries. Okay, and it's human force because again, Mars, you can think of it as the soldier. You can think of it almost as a warlike planet. All right. So all of these features of Mars are brought into Aries. Okay. So with that being said, um, in some negative cases, Aries can be very warlike. Okay. Um, They will, again, they will do whatever they can to survive. Aries represents leadership, action. Okay, Aries is also a little bit on the impulsive side. All right, and they also are aggressive. They can be very aggressive people. Okay. Um. So again, it represents leadership, action, and focusing onward and outward and onward. Aries doesn't necessarily focus on one particular thing. They focus on new on new things. They're very adventurous people. Okay, and again, Aries is a fire sign, so they are quick to have an emotional reaction. Okay, they don't necessarily dwell on things. They don't, it doesn't bother them for a long time. So they're not one who necessarily holds a grudge. Um, Aries is also very, very enthusiastic, very energetic, okay? And they are very competitive. So you'll notice that people who have uh, some sports players, they'll have either some strong influence from Aries or strong influence from Mars. Okay, because both Aries and Mars are very competitive. All right, very competitive planets. They are ready to try new things. They aren't the type of people who isn't going to try something new. Okay. They are very independent people. They are very confident people. Self-confidence. Okay? And they don't mind taking risks. So, with that being said, people who have strong influences from Aries, they will not mind parachuting out of a plane. So that is the situation as far as that goes. All right, so obviously, some pretty serious stuff there. Um, and also they again, so the main thing about Aries is that you need to know is that they are very, very independent people. They are independent physically, mentally, and emotionally. Okay. This is why if you have a lot of water in your chart, okay, somebody who has a lot of Aryan influence, they are not going to be a good match for you because they don't like the clinginess, okay, that some of your earth and water signs like. All right? They don't like emotional dependency. Okay. The problem with Aries is that they can be very impatient. Very impatient. This is a problem, especially with some of your slower signs. Okay, Aries will be like, "Come on, let's go. We don't have all day," and they could even get a little bit mad, or they could get a little bit, angry about that if somebody's impatient. Because again, Aries has a very quick temper. Okay, they're very quick-tempered, and when they do temper, watch out, it could get pretty nasty. Okay, they are very insecure. Okay, Aries is not necessarily the sign that will follow through on their decisions. They may say one thing and then they may end up saying, I figured out that I have to do something today, so let's change it to another time, or this or this or that. So they're not the most dependable sign in the zodiac. They do make very hasty decisions. They are very rash. Okay, they are not one to think. So they're very impulsive. Okay, they'll make a decision, and it'll be in and without thinking things through necessarily. They're very argumentative, so they may be the ones who start arguments. They can be very if there's some negative aspects to Mars, or if there's some negative aspects to Aries, you could be pretty destructive. Okay, they can be very violent. They could even be cruel. Okay, a lot of criminals, they'll have negative aspects to Mars. Okay, that's what makes them so violent. That's what makes them such a bad person. Okay, Mars, when you have a negative aspect to Mars, that's a terrible, terrible. Um, that's just terrible, because what ends up happening is these people, they don't think things through. Okay, so you really want to make sure you really want to look for that in somebody's chart if they have a negative aspect to Mars. So for the most part, that's all about Aries. Now, each sign also represents a part of your body. Aries represents the head and the face. Okay, they represent the head and the face. So, um, you know, they tend to get a lot of headaches sometimes. They can be very prone to that. So, for the most part, that is all about Aries. Now, what happens if anything I said about Aries isn't you and your sun sign is in Aries? Well, it could be, well, first of all, we are going to do a whole series on the sun signs in the cusps. Okay. Now, it's not just the sun sign that can do this. Let me tell you something. A lot of people think, oh, the cusps don't matter. They matter. They matter a lot. All right. Now, each zodiac sign covers 30 degrees. Okay, each zodiac sign is 30 degrees long. All right. Now, the first degree of that, so between 0 and 1 degrees of that zodiac sign, and between 29 and 30 degrees of that zodiac sign, that is considered a cusp. Okay, that is considered a cusp, and you can get influences when you are that close to the previous zodiac sign. You can get influences from the previous one, especially dependent upon your location of your other planets. If your other planets are located in like, let's say you're on the cusp of Pisces and Aries, okay? If you're on the cusp of Pisces and Aries and you have a lot of planets, let's say in a water sign, or you have a lot of planets in an earth sign, then you are not going to feel like an Aries. You will feel like the description of Pisces describes you. That is because the influences from those other planets affect the side of the cusp that is going to be more stronger. So your sun sign will be brought out more as Pisces instead of Aries, even though that you're technically an Aries. Okay? So these are very, very important aspects. So, and we'll talk more about this when we get into the series on the sun sign and the cusps. And it's not only the sun that does this. If your moon sign is on the cusp, or if your Venus is on the cusp, but it only can be the first degree and the last degree. Okay, very, very important. So for the most part, that is all about Aries. Okay, and again, even if your sun sign is away from the first degree and away from the last degree, you can still not feel like an Aries. The reason being about that it's because um it's because you know you definitely have a lot of a lot of planets in another sign, okay, or in different signs, and that can definitely affect the way you feel. So that's all about Aries. In our next video, we're going to introduce you to Taurus.